A lot of people would love to control the internet. And if they ever do that, we're pretty much doomed. Societies, America, for example, has enough H-bombs to destroy the world 50 times over. How stupid can you be? What can you accomplish with that? We have 300 submarines in America. And according to the Bureau of Naval Operations, each submarine has more destructive power than all the wars in history. What are you going to win with that? And then there's a place for congressmen, I don't know how many of you know this, that can go under a mountain and there's enough food for 6 months. How many of you do that? Very well, no, 1/3 of the people here. What do you come out to after 6 months? Radioactive world? I'm trying to tell you that congressmen and senators are stupid beyond description because they don't know anything. Don't take my word. Walk over to your own congressman and say, how would you prevent automobile accidents? I don't know. How can you transmit electric power over lines with minimum losses? I don't know. How can you grow enough food to feed everyone? They don't know anything. Try it sometime. Now, when you fly in a commercial airliner, you don't have the right to pilot. Say you've been flying at an angle for 3 hours, straighten up. He knows the business. The people in Washington should understand human behavior, environmental problems, so they're experts of that day. We never can arrive at utopia. People think I'm a utopian. I believe in a perfect world. I do not. The cities that I design are the best I know up to now. But the new cities will be a straitjacket to the kids of the future. They'll design their own cities. And if you make a statue of me and honor me, that holds things back. Everybody can be Leonardo da Vinci if you know how to do it. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about that. When my kid came to me and said, Daddy, when he was 4 years old, the wheel came off my toy car. And I said, so it did. And I threw it in the garbage. And I picked up my paper and I'm reading it. But I'm watching out of one eye, that lower lip. Where? What's the matter? He said, you throwed it away. I said, I'll get you baby toys where the wheels don't come off. He said, well, maybe I can fix it. And I reached for it and gave it to him. And he's trying to get the wheel on. Gets it on. Then you pick him up and say, that's wonderful. How did you do that? He says, I'm not that little, Daddy. Well, that's when you encourage a kid. Here, let Daddy fix it. Let Mommy fix it. You produce a blob. Don't you see? So to make creative people, you never hold up the younger child, play with it, while the 7-year-old's standing there with that lip out. And when the younger kid falls down the stairs, the 7-year-old has grit because he's been treated unfairly. Mothers do not know today how to raise children. I wanted my child to learn to read. I never taught him to read. I used to read to him at night in bed. And I read to him about what kids are interested in. And then I go like the most interesting part of the book, I close it. He said, Daddy, what happened? I said, look, if you learn to read, you can find out for yourself. You have to give kids a reason to want to read, a reason to want mathematics. Not today, 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8, and they wrote memory like robots. If you really want them to think, you have to arrange conditions. They won't let any person touch a jet engine unless you go to school. Humans are.
People getting addicted to drugs.
These gadgets don't work too good, so Roxanne.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Is this on? Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, what I said was, when everything is free, drugs will be readily available as well. And even though there would be less reason to use drugs, because, well, they're all happy, how would the society deal with that problem? Because people are still curious and they would like to experience drugs.
Deal with drugs.
First of all, people make money selling drugs. You're aware of that. There's no money available in the society. So you can't sell drugs. No one would make anything, make any money. And so you don't sell anything. You can't pay off a politician. You can't have the drug company influence people. Say a big drug company finds out that celery juice lowers blood pressure. Why make that available? You can't sell it, you can't make money. So they make these pills where you get $3 a piece for it. You can't make money telling the public, live naturally, try not to break poisons. You can't make money doing that. So the system is inherently corrupt. Now, people don't use drugs unless they're stressed out, unless they don't feel good and they take it, makes them feel better. In the future, all kids, all people, well, today, I notice a lot of kids hang out in America, in malls. There should be art centers, music centers, cultural centers for them to go. There's no place to go. So the kids, if they go to try parking, now they're trying. Because, and the kids today are really fucked up badly. They're running needles through their tongues, hanging things through their ears. They might as well put a bone through their nose, like the old timers did. So they don't know what's important. They want to belong to a group. And when you do that, when you put some metal plate through your tongue or your lip, you identify with the group. That's the same as Indians dancing around the fire with a feathered hat. While they dance around. You say, that's ridiculous doing that. The Indian doesn't say, you know, I never thought of it that way. That's very interesting. He gets mad at you. Because people are brought up to believe that what they do is good. Like the Afro-Americans in Africa, they weave their hair. They spend hours doing that. That's a nothing thing. A something thing is education on how to increase agricultural yield, not weaving the hair for 3 hours. So really, people don't know what's significant. Now, I want to tell some of you this. If you beat a drum on the left side of a person, on this side, boom, 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 that causes the muscles of this leg to move very slightly. And if you put the drum on the other side, be like, yeah, hence you get this. Hey man, that's really cool. Dancing is a nothing thing, but people move around with each other, and you think it means something. You're brought up that way. The book called Thorstein Veblen's Theory of the Leisure Class, I'm sure it isn't in most of your schools. He said that wealthy people in the old days used to hire many people to stay in the hallway like that. The more people you had doing nothing, the more respect you commanded. But these people just wipe their nose on their sleeve. So a guy puts buttons along their nose, it didn't work. So they put buttons all around the sleeve. That's how come men have buttons on their jackets which do nothing. Now Thorstein Veblen said if a girl was born with a sloping chin, a person in a high place, she designed garments that stuck up like that, so you couldn't see the sloping chin. And everybody in the court wanted one. And then when smallpox pocked the face, the important people had veils designed, so you couldn't see the detail of the skin. And everybody in the court wanted a veil. I'm trying to tell you that people are loused up by society. The world I'm talking about, if you love art, you can go to school, you don't need money. You can study anything you want to study. And some people think that Fresco thinks more about machines than he does people. That's a lie. I want to tell you about the machines I'm talking about. When I was a kid, people used to look out of an airplane and say, I'm about a mile